Hey there, my name is Randy Opfer, and I work for the California Air Resources Board. What we have for you here is the second in a series of short and to the point informational videos designed to help fleets and vehicle owners navigate the truckers reporting system. Specifically, those fleets and vehicle owners that have requirements under the Advanced Clean Fleets or ACF rule. There are 5 videos in total, lasting a few minutes apiece, each looking at a different component of ACF reporting. Feel free to view any or all of the videos that you find useful. This particular video will focus on the Company Information tab. Now, after you log into the Trucker system, it should look something like the page here. If you're a first-time reporter or to truckers, you'll notice that there's not really much here. Your first job is to change that. On the screen, you can see a link that says Add a New Company. That's what we're going to show you now. Before we get there, though, there may be some of you that are returning customers, or perhaps you're an old pro at this. You will already have a company created, but you can follow along with us and learn more information. Before we create that new company, I also want to show you a page called the Message Center. It will pop up practically every time you log into Truckers. I personally would go to this page every time I log into my Truckers account because that's where staff here at the ARB put the latest updates. Also, staff have inserted regulation-specific website links you can follow if you need more information about the rule requirements. Now, on to the main course. On this page, you see the Company Information tab. Take some time to gather the information listed here before you enter any data. Having complete and correct information about your company entered into your Truckers account is important. This information is pretty straightforward, but let's go through it. It's broken down by section. The first section is the General Information tab. We need the legal owner name for the company. We also need the name of the company or agency, and there are 2 lines here for that. The second line is used if you have a different name associated with the company, like a DBA or doing business as. The next entry here is a drop-down menu where you can select which agency type or company type best associates with your company. Now, there are some new choices here under the ACF rule. Things like city, county, joint powers authority, special district, state, other public, local government. If one of those applies to you, please select that. The next one down is company or agency tax ID. This could be something as simple as a social security number, but more likely it's going to be another government-issued tax ID number. The next one down is parent entity truckers ID. If the company you are reporting is a subsidiary or a sub-business of another company, this question needs to be answered. It's very important for the ACF rule in determining common ownership and control. The final 2 pieces of information we need under the General Information tab are responsible official and the title of the responsible official. Now, the person who is designated as the responsible official is generally going to be the person who is named on any legal documents. It's important that we have that information if there's ever any issues with your company in a compliance with ARB's rules. The next section is for motor carrier number or motor carrier ID number. There's a drop-down menu for this too, and you can enter multiple ones if you need to. Things like CA number or US DOT number, IRP number, or MX number are all possible choices. Enter as many as you need to fully fill out the information for your company. The next section, you get there, is going to be address. Now there are 3 options here. The first one is your mailing address. This is where your company receives the mail, pretty obvious. The second one would be the physical address. This is where your company or agency is actually located. And the final one is the records address. So if you have a physical address or a mailing address, and you also have a separate place where records are stored, that also needs to be reported. If they all happen to be the same thing, or 2 or more of them are the same, there are little boxes that you can check that say physical address is the same as mailing address, or records address is the same as mailing address. When you check that box, the system will auto-populate that with whatever you put in the mailing address point. The next section says contact person. Now, the contact person should be someone who is the most responsible for reporting your account into truckers. We need their name first and last, the company name that they're with in case you're hiring somebody to do the reporting for you, a phone number where they can be reached, and 2 separate email addresses. It's really rather important to make sure this person is accessible for when staff at ARB need to ask questions about your particular account. Now, the last section here is the regulations your fleet is subject to. The inputs here are new to truckers and are used to determine if there are requirements under ACF now and what they will be going forward. First one says, if you're subject to the zero emission airport shuttle regulation, which category are you? You could be a regulated airport, you could be 15 mile, you could be 30 mile, or it could be NA. Then there are 2 questions here with a drop-down menu for high priority fleets. You answer yes to either one of them in the drop-down, and you are considered a high priority fleet. And again, that's a designation that falls under ACF. The final question here is, do you want to comply with the ZEV milestone option? This is an optional compliance path that you can choose. If you're just a standard type of company, you can choose to follow that each year, each compliance year, and then switch back to the other style of compliance the next year. If you're a state or local government agency under the ACF rule, it's very important to understand that you can opt into this ZEV milestone option, but once you do, you will be locked into that option for purposes of the regulation. Now, the final thing you have to do is click that little box that says all the information above is true and correct. This is something we need to make sure that you're attesting to the fact that what you're reporting is true and correct. And finally, submit. That means we're going to save the information and it will populate and be saved in your trucker's account. So that's it for this video. Tune in next time for some more exciting reporting action.